Okay, so I know I use this word quite a lot in my titles, to the point where it might be slightly over-exaggerated sometimes, but this situation we're talking about today is genuinely wild. In fact, let me actually just give a quick shout out to this person who commented on my last video, and I believe has actually commented on a couple of videos saying it at this point, but this is from Bonobo84, and they have said, Marky should look into the Conjuring House drama. It's gotten pretty crazy, and because of this comment, I actually decided to look into it, and that's what's brought us to this video, and yes, it's gotten pretty crazy. Also, I do just want to give credit to a YouTuber called Jenny Twigs, because I watched her video and it gave me a lot of context to this situation, specifically the stuff that happened before the most recent stuff that we'll get to later on in the video. But yeah, Jenny Twigs uploaded a brilliant video on this where she goes into a lot of detail about like the first half of this video, and it's a lot more detail than I'll go into. So if you want to check out the video, I'd highly recommend it. But yeah, either way, today's video is all about the Conjuring House. Now, I'm assuming most people have probably heard of it from the movie. Now, you can actually go and visit the Conjuring House. You know, like paranormal fans can go there. A lot of YouTubers have went there. A lot of paranormal YouTubers have went there to see if it really is haunted. And it's at this point that I should probably introduce you to the owner of the Conjuring House, which is this woman right here called Jacqueline Nunez. Now, I actually originally heard about a situation with this Conjuring House quite a while ago, and it was through a video by Sam and Colby where they actually went to go and visit it to see, you know, like, is this place really haunted? And they ended up getting shown this demonstration that apparently proved that you could communicate with the spirits in the house. So this is Cody and Satori, and what they would do is they would hold hands, like, as you can see right here, and they would kind of go through the alphabet to get a response from, like, a spirit or whatnot, and then when it gets the letter that the spirit wants to communicate to them, they would make a knocking sound.
HIJKLMNOPQRST Sam. Perfect.
Bro.
And as you can imagine, when this video was released, there was a lot of skeptics, and in fact, a bunch of YouTubers were making videos trying to debunk this. Now, one video I actually saw at the time was by this YouTuber called John Wolf, who kind of gave his thoughts on what he believes is happening here.
In my opinion, after hearing both the solenoid and the joint pops in action, combined with the fact that Cody and Satori refused to take their shoes off in the dance studio, and Sam's comment that it sounded different outside the Conjuring House, makes me think that Cody and Satori are mainly using joint popping with the additional help of solenoid devices when they're inside the Conjuring House.
So basically, he believes there's two different methods here. Now, joint popping is just something that certain people can do, and he believes that when they get to a letter, one of these two people can kind of like pop one of the joints, I believe like in their ankle or the foot, that makes a bit of a sound, which by the way is something people can do. There is videos like he shows in this where people can make that type of noise. Now, the reason why he also mentioned these devices is because in the actual house, Sam and Colby said they could feel vibrations around. Now, if you were just kind of like popping a joint, you probably wouldn't feel vibrations in the ground, would you? So they actually ended up moving to a different location. They just went to a random like dance studio, and they could no longer feel these vibrations, but they could still hear the noise. So I'm guessing in the actual house, he believes that there's some other devices that can maybe cause a bit of like vibration. And yeah, I do realize this stuff we're talking about now is fairly old at this point. We're getting to the most recent stuff. Stuff literally is recent, it's just a couple of weeks ago. But firstly, it makes sense to add some context as to what's been happening over the past year or so, because when Sam and Colby's video got released and a lot of people were trying to debunk the video, the owner of the Conjuring House, Jacqueline, actually ended up posting a statement. Official response regarding the spirit communication method by Cody Desbiens, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, and Satori Hawes. I am Jacqueline Nunez, owner of the Conjuring House. I have been observing the events that continue to unfold resulting from the 3-part YouTube series released by Sam and Colby in October 2023. This series, which features Cody and Satori delivering messages through their spirit communication method, has garnered millions of views around the world. These videos have also drawn the attention for people around the world who represent numerous industries and sectors that are not connected to the paranormal field. Now, I am going to skip certain parts just to kind of stick with the most important bits, but she goes on to say, however, there have also been some skeptics, disbelievers, and opportunists who have sought to monetize their content by producing debunking videos and telling outright lies to hurt Cody and Satori. These slanderous lies and the debunking videos have been produced by people who have never met Cody and Satori, let alone have the privilege of experiencing their method. Among the lies is the assertion that Cody and Satori have made a lot of money from their method. Cody and Satori have never taken any money for their method, nor were they paid one dime from the Sam and Colby 2023 The Conjuring House videos featuring their method in every episode. episode. Cody and Satori are not frauds. They have a unique gift that enables them to channel spirit messages in biological physical form rather than through other physical mediums like EVPs, spirit boxes, or REM pods. And then she goes on to address the paranormal community and says, if Cody and Satori are frauds, they are not. What does that say about the EVPs, thermal images, or other evidence that you have documented? Your evidence is much more suspect than the physical evidence that is heard by all when they have experienced the method by Cody and Satori. So basically what you're saying here is if you believe any other methods to kind of speak to spirits or anything in the paranormal community, then you basically have to believe Cody Satori because their method has a lot more proof behind it than yours. And then she goes on to address the disbelievers and says, you are prudent to take note that your slanderous claims and defaming lies are illegal. And yeah, if you do want to read the full statement, I'll leave it on screen right now. You can pause and give it a read. But either way, at this point, some time goes by, and then all of a sudden we receive a statement saying that a bunch of the staff members at the Conjuring House have decided to leave. To correct rumours that are circulating, is with a heavy heart that we must inform everyone that we, Corey, Jen, Satori, Cody, Reed, Steve, and Erin, decided to sever ties with the Conjuring House due to our own experiences within that work environment. Which I mean is pretty big, right? Because we're not just talking about one person leaving, 2 people, maybe even 3 people. We're talking about 7 people who have decided to leave for what seems like a pretty specific reason. Now, at this point, we don't really know any reasons. The statement's pretty vague, just saying, we're leaving, something's happened that we're not happy with, so we've decided to leave. But then just a month ago, as I'm recording this video, we end up getting a live stream by a YouTuber called Jason Hawes, who talks to a bunch of these former staff members to get their side of the story. And by the way, this isn't even the most recent stuff. We have more stuff after this. But first things first, they actually discuss how Jacqueline ended up owning the Conjuring House, and the way she apparently started owning this house was because she put a lawsuit on the previous owners to access the house.
Long story short, she felt entitled to it and put a lawsuit on us. She put a lien on the house and stopped us from looking at other people to purchase the house. She felt that an agreement that we signed, which was null and void in the state of Rhode Island, according to our lawyers, she felt that she was entitled to that house.
I think kind of what it came down to is I told myself I'd remember what it was called.
Liz.
No. What we signed to begin with before we sat down for the purchase and sales agreement.
Yeah.
We broke that contract before we sat down with her for the purchase and sales agreement because our realtor had assured us that in the state of Rhode Island, it's not against the law. So we backed out after, I don't know if we can, actually I know there's things that we can't get into like financially. So there are reasons behind, there are multiple reasons I should say behind why we backed out to begin with. And I will take some personal guilt on that because I did feel backing out before we sat down to talk to her was bad on our part, but it was also not going to go the way she wanted when we sat down anyways. Her closing date that she needed to do was way too long. So long story short, we decided to not sign the purchase and sales agreement. She put a lien on the property in order to continue to go to court multiple times out of our pocket. It was either sit down and discuss it with her, and which we did. The realtor suggested, let's just talk this out. She really loves the property. She clearly is fighting for it. Maybe that just shows how much she loves it. And we sat down with her. I'll be honest, I loved her. I thought she was great.
But yeah, look, clearly the sale didn't go the normal way it really should. There was a bunch of miscommunication, it seems, with what they were being told by their lawyers that they could do in Rhode Island that I guess maybe they weren't legally allowed to do. It's ended up in this lawsuit, and Jacqueline now owns a home. From what I can gather, it seems like they started the process of Jacqueline buying the house, and they wanted to kind of like maybe back out of it so they could look at other people to potentially buy the house instead, and legally they weren't allowed to do so, and it's ended up with this lawsuit. And again, Jacqueline now owns the home. But then a little bit later on in the live stream, we actually start hearing some stuff from Cody and Satori, and then they actually show text messages that Jacqueline had sent them. I have no idea what you were trying to achieve, but I'm hearing crazy stories of the bullshit that you were saying about me. My redacted and the spirits at the Conjuring House have been filling me in. Yeah, so what you're gonna see from the rest of this video is that Jacqueline makes a lot of her decisions and makes wild claims based on things that she says spirits have told her. So bear that in mind. Pretty much everything that you hear Jacqueline say until the end of this video is because spirits have told her it's true. You were just pissed that you got fired and that I will not pay you, redacted, for the fact that you hired someone who burned down the barn. Grow the fuck up and look for new employment since you blew your employment at the Conjuring House. Yes, that's right. She is accusing these people of paying someone to burn down the barn at the Conjuring House. And because she believes this due to spirits telling her, she is not paying them money that they are owed. Much to your dismay, I am not going into the woods with whiskey and dowsing rods, nor did I ever say anything to anyone about my redacted. That's none of your fucking business. If you continue to try and ruin my reputation and my business, I will file a lawsuit against you for slander and tortures? Is that what that says? I mean, either way, clearly a very wild message to send someone. I have done nothing to warrant your lying hatred towards me. In fact, I am the only person to try and give you significant opportunity to grow as people and to grow your business. I will make sure I include the investment I made for you with the barn in my post if you don't stop your reckless direction of trying to destroy me, because you will be the only ones to be destroyed. I will never be defeated or destroyed now or at any time in the fucking future. So be it. And then you can see they've just responded saying, we have absolutely no clue what you're going on about. I mean, yeah, I don't either. We were not fired, we resigned, and was even kind enough to publicly stay respectful. Now you're coming up with us being fake just because you're mad we aren't doing readings whenever you want at your beckoning. We literally stopped doing readings for you at your house in September/October because you just wanted to use us. There's plenty of witnesses to that. We are and always have been honest. We don't even have any of her contact information and never talk to her. That's really low to try and threaten us with lies, Jacqueline, even for you. And yeah, look, this live stream is over 2 hours, so if you do want to see it where they're going to obviously a lot more detail, it's on the Jacqueline Nunez YouTube channel. But now this is where we get to the most recent stuff, because this all happened within the last couple of weeks. Now, one employee that clearly stayed with the Conjuring House during all of this stuff that was going on with Cody and Satori and other people who had left, has actually now revealed that he was recently fired because the spirits told Jacqueline that he had stole money from her. Now, this video we're about to watch is on the WPRI YouTube channel.
He said he was fired from the home in July by owner Jacqueline Nunez.
John Arnold told me you've been stealing money out of the cash box for the past 2 months.
Right, to just add some context to this, the person that she apparently heard this from, this spirit, was someone who lived in the house in the 1800s. And they have told Jacqueline that her employee, Brian, has stolen money from this cash box.
John Arnold, the long-deceased 19th century owner, told her Dansereau was stealing. Dansereau filed a complaint with the state saying he's owed $9,000 in unpaid wages.
I mean, it's becoming a bit of a theme, isn't it? Like, she refuses to pay people. It seems like she kind of gets to a point where she owes people like a substantial amount of money, and then she's like, fuck, I can't pay that. Let's just fire them instead. Or I guess in the previous case, she didn't want to pay these people because they quit.
Now he's taking his fight to the Superior Court, accusing the owner of wage theft and defamation.
Yeah, as he fucking should. She is keeping $9,000 that he's owed and came up with this crazy story solely based on something that spirits told her. Not the fact that there would surely be cameras all around this house. It's literally a commercial property. I'm assuming there's cameras everywhere. It's got nothing to do with the evidence that's shown on camera. It's the spirits have told her. Someone from the 1800s has told her.
He posted on everywhere that I was a liar, I was a cheat, I was a felon, I stole from her. This has been the most surreal and the most emotional time period of my life.
After he was fired, Dansereau says Nunez harassed him online and with text messages like
What
this.
you did, I hope you get arrested, prosecuted, and ruined for the rest of your life.
What is going on here? Like, this is meant to be a fun property that people go to because, like, you know, maybe they're fans of the movie, maybe they're just paranormal fans in general, you know, they can go and experience this, and all this has came from it, all this drama. Like, why has this happened?
The lawsuit also alleges Nunez failed to make payments for things like taxes and unemployment. He also wants protection from the court to prevent Nunez from threatening, attacking, or assaulting him. The whole ordeal, he says, is damaging his life.
I want justice. I want to be paid what's owed to me. And that goes from the $9,000 that she initially withheld from me and continues to do so. But now for all of the pain and suffering.
Yeah, I mean, look, if all the information that we're being told here is true, then yes, I hope he 100% wins this lawsuit, clearly.
We reached out to Nunez multiple times for this report, but haven't heard back.
Not a good sign. Okay, now at this point in the news report, they actually go on to interview Jacqueline Nunez, the person we just spoke about, the YouTube video we just watched. And he's actually from a TV show called Ghost Hunters, I believe. So I didn't mention that earlier because I wasn't aware, but this is what he had to say.
Jacqueline Nunez from the hit TV series Ghost Hunters says he filed a police report with the West Greenwich Police Department. This after he says he received dozens of alarming text messages from the Conjuring House's owner.
Okay, right. I'm assuming it's because of the live stream, but let's see.
I don't have a relationship with Miss Nunez. I've met her, I believe, 3 times in my life, all of which were probably under 10 to 15 minutes.
Jason Hawes, the star of Sci-Fi's Ghost Hunter, says his daughter worked for Nunez until earlier this year when the working relationship fell apart. Last month, Hawes says he started receiving dozens of harassing text messages from the owner.
There's just been extremely violent text. There's been a lot of threatening text, claims of lawsuits.
Hawes went to the West Greenwich Police Department last week to share his concerns, asking they keep her away from him and his family. The police report shows Nunez accused him of an assassination attempt on her life. Plus, this text message that says, "You will someday be prosecuted for your slander and numerous attempts on my life."
Okay, right. I feel like with a claim that massive, can we see some proof of that? And I've actually just took a look at the rest of this video. There is no proof of any of that. I haven't seen anything to do with that. Yeah, I don't really understand what is going on at this point. It really does seem like from everything that we've heard so far is that Jacqueline allegedly just makes up wild claims. Like the wildest claims you could possibly make. And if I had to guess, Jacqueline is probably going to find herself in court a lot in the near future because there's a lot of claims that she's made that definitely could end up in lawsuits. One currently is ending up in a lawsuit as we speak, which if we have all the details here, which maybe we don't, but if we do have even a fraction of the details here that this person was fired, she's keeping $9,000 from him, all because she claimed he stole something with zero proof. I don't see how she could ever really make it through that with a positive outcome for herself. Like, it seems like she's going to lose that lawsuit. But yeah, either way, that's it for the video. If you want me to keep up with this story as more information comes out, please let me know in the comment section down below. We might do in part 2 in the near future. And yeah, if you did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe, and until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, goodbye.